if your schedule is anything like ours, you've got kids' activities, work, and a household to take care of, and there is only so much time in the day. So let's talk about some productivity tips to help you get it all done. Hi, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Tasha with One Big Happy Life, and we help you find balance, build wealth, and live happy. Everything that you need to create the life that you want. So this video is all about some productivity killers and how you can overcome them. But first, I'm so excited to say that we are ready to add someone to our team. Yes, we are hiring. And so if you are interested, head on over to onebighappylife.com/jobs to apply. Also, if you know anyone that would be a great fit, spread the word.
Okay, so that was a little bonus. You could call that delegate, because delegating can increase your productivity by spreading out the workload. And that's exactly what we're looking to do here. So, little bonus. Okay, now the first one that we were going to go with is not having a plan. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Doesn't matter what family situation or work situation you have going on, if you don't at least have a rough idea of what you're going to get accomplished that week, then you're going to just be flying by the seat of your pants after Monday afternoon.
Yeah, and like Joseph said, this is applicable both in your personal life and also in your professional life. And me now being 100% self-employed, working at home, those things really mesh for me in terms of like they flow together, almost like there's no separation between work and family life. But it's like you've got to meal prep, right? If you don't meal prep or at least plan your menus, then you won't know what you're going to be cooking. And so then if you're doing things last minute, then you're going to be scrambling and you're not going to be nearly as efficient than if you had planned it in advance.
And it's actually especially important for people who do work from home to have that plan so that they can separate the home jobs from their work jobs, because trying to do two things at once, also a killer.
Yeah, it's so funny. I've been talking about this on Fridays. I'll do videos that are specifically about business. And I talked about how my days would just get away from me and I would have no idea where my time went. And it was frustrating for me. And so my solution to that was I actually got a planner that is specifically geared at people who are entrepreneurs and or who work in professional settings generally. And that's Michael Hyatt's Full Focus Planner. And so you actually plan out your week in terms of the biggest things that you want to accomplish in your business or in your job during the week. And then day by day, you plan out your day. So I actually plan out my day the day before and I decide what are the big three things that I want to focus on. But I also I use calendar blocking, which I'll do a video about that. When I'm going to exercise, when is family time, when is the two of us time, when is just Tasha time. And so I know what I'm supposed to be doing and focusing on at any given point in time.
Number two. Now I know I just said having a plan is important, but you also need to be flexible. So I'm not saying that now that you had a plan, just erase it all and then that's okay. No, what I'm saying is you need to be ready to adjust that plan when the inevitable hiccup happens. You'll go somewhere planning to do some kind of meal prep. Oh, maybe the grocery store is out of that thing that you needed. So you've got to go to another grocery store and that takes too much time. And, so you can see that there will be little bumps in time here and there. And so that's important to build, a little bit of flexibility into your schedule, identify things that are easy to move versus the things that are difficult, because you do know that those will happen. And it's much, much better to have the plan to like make little alterations to what you expected to do versus just giving up and throwing in that towel, because then you're just back to square one with flying by the seat of your pants again.
So number 3, the third productivity killer we have on our list is fixin' to time. And if you are not from the South, if you've never heard this phrase before, which by the way, before I moved down to Texas, I had never heard fix. I can't even say it. It's like fixing it or whatever. Like I can't even say it right. But basically, what it means is that there's all this setup time where you're like kind of dawdling. And you're like, well, I'm fixing to do this or that thing, but you're not. Anytime you're fixing to do it, you're not actually doing it. And I am pretty guilty of fixing to time, specifically when it comes to working out. Now, one of the things that I've started to do to try to eliminate that fixing to time is I'll get up in the morning and the first thing I'll do is put on workout clothes. So I don't have to put on regular clothes, go downstairs, think, oh my gosh, I should exercise, go back upstairs, put on the clothes, go back downstairs saying, oh, do I really want to exercise right now though? That's fixing to time. So I'm working on eliminating that. And so it's like I put on my workout clothes and I just march straight down to the basement, eliminate the fixing to time and get straight to it because that's like 15, 20 minutes, half an hour that's just wasted doing nothing. So just do the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I do the same thing, especially with working out. It's so funny because I'll be collecting all of my special workout stuff. And it's like, no, you find ways to make it to streamline the process and store everything that you need, in one location. Like if you need to collect things before you go run, your hat, your glasses, whatever, that kind of thing. Same's true for whatever your task is. If you can cut down the time that it takes you to go
Mhm.
collect the things for the task, then that helps you just move directly from thought, I need to do this thing, to actually doing the thing.
All right, fourth productivity killer that it's kind of counterintuitive, but multitasking. And we've talked about this before, where the idea that so many of us think that we can multitask, we can do two things at once, but what we're actually doing is task switching. So we focus on one, then we focus on the other, and we do it so seamlessly that it feels like we're doing both at the same time, but we're really not. And so if it's something that really needs your focus, then you should just do the one thing. Have one tab open, have one screen open on your phone, or put your phone away and only be focused on the one thing in front of you so that you can go deep into that thing and get it done quickly. Now, the one exception to multitasking that I think is everyone, especially busy parents, should do is consuming media while you're taking care of household tasks because neither one of those need your absolute full attention. So I like to listen to podcasts while I'm brushing my teeth and doing my makeup or watching Netflix. Like all of our workout equipment has like televisions and stuff in front of it because that's when we consume our media.
Number 5, distractions from your environment. I'm going to say environment, but anything around you, including family members. If you really need to be getting something done and it was on your plan to be doing that thing, it's really easy. For kids to come in and say, "Oh, I need this thing," or "I want to do this," and it's just so important that you can't ignore them. Where it's best to set it up ahead of time and say, "I'm going to do this thing. You guys are going to go do something else," because otherwise you will never get whatever it was that you wanted to get done actually accomplished, because it'll just be endless questions and conversations because you want to engage. And now that's just a family example, but the same is true for anything. Anything in your environment, like if you're at work and people are walking by your cube, which that happens to me all the time. It's like you just got to get in your zone. Well, whatever it takes to get into that zone where you can get some of that outside noise out, whether it's putting on some headphones, just really intensely working on your work, or changing locations, whatever it takes to eliminate those outside distractions, because it can take 20 minutes from doing an intense work to get back to the same
Mhm.
level of that intensity after you've been distracted.
Yeah, distractions are a huge time sink. So, next up is being tired. And so, what that means is you got to get enough sleep. And I know that as parents, it can be really difficult, especially if you're a busy working parent, to get in the required number of hours of sleep. But the fact is, if we're tired, we're not at our best. And so, I don't know about you, but I think most people tend to stay up trying to have fun, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I worked so hard all day. So, I just need a break from the kids. I need some time to myself. So, one of the things that we do is the kids have always gone to bed early so that we always had a reasonable amount of time before our bedtime in order to just relax, decompress, spend time together, but also look at your calendar and see where can I fit in moments for the things that I want? So at your lunch break, instead of, I don't know, maybe not going out to lunch with your coworkers every day, use that half an hour to get in to read a good book on a bench in a park. Make sure that you're fitting in the things that matter to you throughout your day. And if you find that you can't fit in the things that matter to you in your life right now, then that's a sign that you should reevaluate what's going on, because clearly something is not working. If you can't get enough sleep and also have sufficient leisure time, then you might need to figure out how you can pivot your life so that you can fit both of those things, because not getting enough sleep can shave time off of your life.
And beyond just getting enough sleep, if you're finding that the task that you're doing perhaps later in the day, you're still feeling tired and, like you don't want to really get engaged and do it, you might need to rearrange when you're accomplishing your most important tasks so that you're a little bit fresher. Or, maybe you feel more refreshed, maybe after lunch. I don't know, just whatever time you feel more energized, it's important to put your important tasks then, so you're not doing something really important when you're feeling tired at all.
So, number 7, this is a big productivity killer, notifications. So, text, emails, ping, ping, ping. Now, I've heard that these notifications like release endorphins in our brains. It's like it makes us feel good to check and see what's going on. So, it's not good because it really does break your focus. It encourages you to multitask, it kills your sleep, which is what I discovered when I was at a business conference last week. And seriously, like every morning at 5:30 in the morning, I was getting messages from Joseph. And I'm like, Joseph, please stop texting me at 5:30 in the morning, because it's 8:30 his time.
Yeah,
And he's
but from
like,
my perspective, of course, on my phone, it has a do not disturb for really, it's like 12 hours that I have do not disturb on there. So I don't get any notifications on my phone overnight. And so I'm like, well, she'll get this as just the first thing when she wakes up. And I was right. It's just 3 hours earlier than I thought it would be.
And for the record, I do have a do not disturb function on my phone, and it was set. I don't know what was wrong with it. It should have adjusted to West Coast time, but no, I was getting the notifications. And so then I wasn't able to go back to sleep. So I was dead tired, jet lagged all the days of that conference. So we've already given you the solution, one of which is to put on a do not disturb. Another thing that I often do is I will leave my phone downstairs. So my phone is not near the bed. So if I wake up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, I'm not going to stop, grab my phone, take a look at it. No. If that's you, if you can't say no to your phone in the middle of the night, leave it someplace else.
Yeah, definitely. The last thing is trying to be perfect at everything. So seeking perfection, while you might at first think, well, isn't that excellent? Shouldn't I always be trying to be perfect? Well, you should be shooting for perfect, but be really excited when you get to good enough, because that is really all it takes. At whatever task that you're doing, I say that. There are going to be some instances somebody say, well, what if my doctor is doing my surgery and you want it to be perfect? Well, okay. So there are a few exceptions, but in day-to-day life, generally, good enough is where you want to shoot, because the time that it takes to go from like good or great quality, whatever it is that you're doing, to perfect is very, very large. Where things cost more as you're trying to move up from, okay to perfect, and then it starts taking a huge amount of time at the end, like the economies of scale just aren't there anymore. Well, so that's true for every task. And so just, be confident in your ability to do good work, and don't stress out that it's not actually perfect.
Yeah, I tell my business coaching students all the time, do B minus work. B minus work is seriously good enough, right? Especially when you're just starting out, until you've built out your team. B minus work is where it's at, both in life and in business, except for if you're a surgeon, that you got an A plus every time, all day, every day. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you haven't signed up to get notified when we launch our podcast, you should definitely do that by going over to onebighappylife.com/podcast.
All right. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.